Good morning, children. Welcome to the English session. Today, we shall deal with the lesson My Childhood, a story by APJ Abdul Kalam. The story deals with the famous biography Wings of Fire of the celebrated Indian APJ Abdul Kalam. My Childhood talks about the early days of Kalam. Furthermore, the story gives us an idea of how the childhood of Abdul Kalam prepared him to become a successful scientist and president in the future. Much has to do with his upbringing. He also mentions the important role of his friends in his life. In short, the story mentions everything that had an impact on his life. These things shaped him into the successful man he became in the future. This lesson tells us about Professor Abdul Kalam's childhood. He is one of the world's greatest scientists. His father's name was Jainulabdin. His mother's name was Ashiyama. He was born in 1931 at Rameshwaram. His parents were neither much educated nor rich, yet they were very generous and kind. His father lived a life that one can say was very simple. Nevertheless, his father made all the necessities available to his children. Many outsiders ate with the family every day. Also, Kalam had the qualities of self-discipline and honesty due to his parents. Abdul Kalam had three brothers and one sister. They lived in their old ancestral house. It was a large Pakka house. It was on the Mosque Street in Rameshwaram. Kalam's family was secular in nature. His family gave an equal amount of respect to all the religions. There was participation from his family in Hindu festivals. Moreover, Kalam heard stories of the Prophet and Ramayana from his grandmother and mother. All of this clearly shows the secularism present in his family. Abdul Kalam was only 8 years old when the Second World War broke out in 1939. There was suddenly a great demand for tamarind seeds. Abdul Kalam would collect these seeds and sell them in the market. His cousin Shamsuddin distributed newspapers. He employed Abdul Kalam as a helping hand. In this way, the child Abdul earned his first wages. Friendship was influential in Kalam's childhood. He had three friends, and their religious backgrounds were different. Moreover, there was not a trace of feelings of discrimination among those friends. All these friends, including Kalam, went into different professions when they grew up. In the fifth standard, a new teacher came to the class of Kalam. In class, Kalam was wearing a cap. This cap certainly gave Kalam a distinct Muslim identity. Moreover, Kalam always sat near Ramananda, a Hindu priest's son. This was something that the new teacher was not able to tolerate. Consequently, Kalam was required to sit on the backbench. After this incident, both the friends felt very sad and told this to their parents. Ramananda's father met with the teacher to inform him not to spread the social inequality and communal hatred. He made a demand that the apology must come. Furthermore, in case of refusal, the teacher must quit. Consequently, there was reformation in the nature of the teacher and an apology came from him. Abdul's science teacher, Shivasubramanya Iyer, was a high caste Brahmin. His wife was very conservative, but he did his best to break social barriers. One day, he invited Abdul to his home for a meal. His wife refused to serve Abdul in her kitchen. Then Shivasubramanya served Abdul with his own hands. He sat down beside him to eat his meal. The teacher invited Abdul to come again the next weekend. He went to his house next week. His wife took Abdul inside her kitchen. She served him food with her own hands. The Second World War ended. Kalam asked his father to permit him to go to Ramanandapuram to study. His father knew that Kalam would have to go away to grow up, and so he permitted him. He consoled his wife, who had grown emotional. His father referred to Khalil Gibran, the Persian philosopher. He told her that her children were not hers. They were the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. They came through her and not from her. She might give them her love, but their thoughts were theirs. The summary of the story. My Childhood is an extract taken from the biography of APJ Abdul Kalam, Wings of Fire. He was a great scientist and also the President of India. He was born in a middle class Muslim family in 1931 in the island town of Rameshwaram, Tamil Nadu. In his childhood, he was greatly influenced by his parents, his teachers, and his friends. His father, Jainul Abdin, was not highly educated, but he was a generous and kind person. He was not rich, but provided a secure childhood to Abdul and his siblings. Abdul inherited honesty and self discipline from his father, and faith in goodness and deep kindness from his mother. Kalam earned his first wages by working as a helping hand to his cousin Shamsuddin, who distributed newspapers in Rameshwaram. In his childhood, he had three close friends, Ramananda Shastri, Aravindan, and Shiva Prakashan. Once, when he was in fifth standard, a new teacher asked him not to sit in the front row along with the high caste Brahmin boys. Abdul found Ramananda Shastri weeping as he went to the last row. This made a lasting impression on Abdul. Abdul was also greatly influenced by his science teacher Shiva Subramanya Iyer. He learned the lesson of breaking social barriers from him. Iyer invited him to his home for a meal. His wife refused to serve food to a Muslim boy in her pure kitchen. Iyer served him with his own hands and sat down beside him to eat his meal. He convinced his wife to serve meal with her own hands and thus was successful in changing her conservative attitude. For higher education, Abdul Kalam sought permission from his father to leave Rameshwaram and study at the distinct headquarters in Ramanandapuram. His father said that Abdul had to go so that he could move ahead in life. He gave the example of a seagull which flies away in the sky all alone and does not have a nest. It means it does not have a home of its own as it keeps on flying from one place to another. Thus, we have come to the end of the session. Thank you and have a nice day.